Students, we have seen how we have prepared the sand in the last video. Today I have already prepared the sand. This is the sieved sand and this is the unsieved sand. Both are being kept separately and they are mixed with water. In the ratio of 10:1, 1 part of water and 10 parts of sand. After mixing them, today we shall see how to prepare the mold using a single piece pattern. This is a single piece pattern which we'll be using to prepare the mold. Before we start, I'll explain you some of the tools that are used. First of all, we will require the trowel. The trowel is used for taking the sand and pouring it within the molding box. And then you use the rammer. The rammer is used for ramming and making the sand compact. After the rammer, you have the strike-off bar, which is used to remove the excessive sand so that our so-called drag, once overturned, rests on a flat surface. The next tool is the bottom board. Bottom board could be a tile or any wooden plank that is flat. It should be perfectly flat. And then you have the lifter for lifting any loose sand and the gate cutter for cutting gates or passages from the mold cavity to the two impressions of the screw and the riser pin. These are the pins, the screw and the riser pin, which will leave an impression on the sand in your cope. Okay, so now we shall start preparing. So the first thing that we require is this. This is called graphite powder, which is called parting powder for making a parting line. So this will have a surface between the cope and the drag so that the sand in the cope doesn't stick to the sand in the drag. So we will have this powder. Okay, so we have got the preparation. We start the preparation now. This is the drag, which is kept inverted, which means to say the ears facing downward. Place our pattern in the center. After placing the pattern in the center, we sprinkle parting sand or parting powder. After sprinkling this is how it will look after you have sprinkled the parting powder. Now we will pour in the sieved sand until the mold or the pattern is thoroughly covered with sieved sand from all the sides. After the sieved sand has thoroughly been covered, we use the rammer and ram the sand if required. Fill in more sealed sand. Now we shall use the unsieved sand. Until it fills the brim. And ram again. Wherever the rammer doesn't reach, we use our thumb to compress the sand in the corners. We can also use a rammer of this sort in the corners. Okay, after the sand has been thoroughly filled and rammed well, this is how we have it, and we shall now strike off the excess sand. Now this excess sand has to be striked off. So to strike it off, we struck off the excess sand, and now we will invert the molding box. We will strike off all the excess sand from the bottom board and place our molding box inverted. After placing this, we will position our cope on the drag, and we will position the sprue and the riser pins on either sides of the pattern at roughly 10 millimeters away from the pattern. It shouldn't be too close, it shouldn't be very far. Okay, we will place it at not very close to the pattern. It depends on the size of your pattern. If your pattern is large, the casting will be large. So we can place it a little far depending on the size of the pattern, but approximately we keep it roughly around 10 to 15 millimeters, so that when you pour the molten metal doesn't have to pass a long passage and then reach the mold cavity. So just enough. So this is to be justified by from a person to person. So it's different. So can you see the two impressions? Okay, now we will fill in sieved sand. And we will ram it well. Wherever our rammer cannot reach, we will use the other rammer if we have one, or the thumb. After we have filled in the sieved sand, now we will use the unsieved sand. But before you put the unsieved sand, see that it is thoroughly rammed. This time, the cope, we need not fill it to the brim. The drag, we filled it to the brim because of one reason. Because when we invert the drag, and we keep the cope on the drag, and we ram the sand in the cope, our parting line or the line in between, the space in between the drag and the cope shouldn't settle within the drag. It should be between the cope and the drag. This is the cope, this is the drag. It should be in between the cope and the drag. It shouldn't be settling within the drag. So that's the reason we fill the drag completely to the brim, but whereas the cope, we need not fill it to the brim. Okay, as you can see, I have not filled it to the brim, slightly below the brim, and that is just approximately around 70 to 75% of the molding flask or the cope. Now, the next step, after thoroughly being rammed, we separate the cope from the drag. So we remove the dowel pins and we place it aside. Now we shall slowly extract the sprue and the riser pins without disturbing the sand. On one side, from where we are going to pour, we will make a small basin sort of thing so that we know from where we are going to pour. This we will make a small basin. So this is our pouring basin. So if you can see here, you see a basin in which we are going to pour our molten metal. So this is your sprue and this will be your riser. Okay, as we have seen, as you can see, this is the impression of the pattern in the cope, and these, one is the sprue and the other is the riser. Okay, here in the drag, we can see the impression of the sprue and the riser. Okay, so now we have to remove this. We have to remove the pattern. So in order to extract the pattern, we will put a hook like this. We call it draw spike. This draw spike, we will put it in the center and we will tap. If you see, the pattern is getting loose on all the edges. So now carefully we will remove the pattern, but see that the edges do not break. See here, now we can either with the lifter press it down, and again try to lift it. Okay, now we will extract the pattern from the mold. If there is any broken edge inside, we will repair it using the lifter. And then, after repairs are done, the excessive sand, we will just pour it out and we will cut gates. For cutting the gates, we require a gate cutter. So for cutting the gates, see that the slope of the gate or the passage is towards the mold, not away from the mold like this. See now, this is the other way around. So it should be towards the mold. Similarly, this side. So as you can see, we have the gates cut Now the next step is cutting vents. Okay, now on the sprue side, we will cut a small depression. Now this depression would mean we call it the sprue well. Now the advantage of having a sprue well is when you pour hot molten metal, what happens is immediately first the gases rush towards the mold cavity. So what happens, in the mold cavity your gases are trapped. But now if you have a small depression, what happens, the gases are trapped first and then only the molten metal enters into the mold cavity. So the gases are slowly let out, okay, through the pores within the sand, or even if the gases go first up, they rise up and then the molten metal comes in. Okay, that's the reason we require a sprue well. Now we will cut a sprue well, which is a small depression. Okay, here on the impression of the pattern in the cope, we have to cut small vents, small holes. These are for the gases to escape. Now, how many? The question is how many? Now, you should cut roughly around 2 to 3 holes in 1 square inch. 1 square inch would mean, suppose you divide this into a graph of 1 inch by 1 inch. So in roughly around 2 to 3 maximum, not more than that. So when you cut, see that you do not shiver. After we have cut vents, now we will again place it on the drag. We will place the cope on the drag. Now when we place, we should remember the position, which was the sprue, which was the riser. Okay, so on the sprue side, you will have the sprue well and the pouring basin. So once we place it, then we are ready for pouring. Now while pouring, we will pour the molten metal into this. It will fill the mold cavity by coming through the gates, and then rise and it will come up from the riser. So once it rises, we can see the molten metal rising in the riser. We are confirmed that the molten metal has covered the so-called cavity, that is the mold cavity. And we wait until it cools down. The metal cools down, so that later on we can break the sand mold. With this, we have completed the mold preparation of the mold using a single piece pattern.